Howdy folks, Stock here with Last Best Tool, and this here is the CTA set of extra deep sockets. These are 3/8 drive, 120 millimeters long, and you've got an 18 down to 8, no skips. So you've got 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 11 pieces plus an adapter. These are 3/8 drive, so there's an adapter to run it on a quarter. Now I've done videos on some of my other really long sockets like this. This is a snap-on in a 10 millimeter. I really like it. That's kind of a what started me down this road, and I discovered also I like it sometimes on this little stubby ratchet. It just is so handy. It's just like a great proportion. So I wanted to try out how this thing was going to be, you know, up a little bit in size. Not quite as handy that way, but also sometimes just manipulating these, it's easier than an extension. It also allows the bolt to be seated quite a ways in there. Now let me show you something here. While I've got that 10 out, here's a little test rig. So the snap-on has, although it's a deep socket, it's got a regular or average size depth at the front end. However, you can look all the way through it, so if you had this on a threaded rod or something, you could use essentially the full length of the socket. But if you notice this, I'll use this little bolt here. That's as far down as this guy goes, right there. So if you looked at that, you know, it works fine for stuff like this. You know, things like that, easily grabs it. The Vim, which I also have in 10 millimeter and done a video on that one, goes a little bit deeper. So you can see I can get that entire coupler in there. If I drop it onto this, you can see there's a bit of a gap there, just a little one. I could turn it and make it a little more obvious. So that's the extent of the depth of this. Yet this CTM and CTM, or CTA, excuse me, CTA, I'm not sure what it stands for. It used to stand, I think, it used to be CAT or something for Classic American Tools. So I guess maybe now it's Classic Tools America. This set is made in Taiwan. But anyway, you can see similar there to the Vim in depth. Snap-on, Vim. So the Vim's probably got the deepest depth and probably the largest channel. Some people worry that the socket walls are too thin. That has to do with quality. The quality on these, it's a little bit rougher finish than both of these two. It does kind of have a stone wash down at the bottom, and then you can see, you know, little bits and marks. Sometimes I can feel, depending on the socket, you know, not quite as perfect around the edges, especially right in there. But anyway, so it's got a pretty good depth, pretty good sized hole all the way through it. Obviously, if you compare that, check out the snap-on again. You can see the snap-on hole is smaller. Here's a Koken, a little bit longer one here. The depth on the Koken, oops, I pushed that all the way through, is about half the length of that. So, and it's not a super deep one, but comparison. Now the other thing I wanted to show you was this. So here's the snap-on. Here is, let's see, I'll use this nut here. It's a good quality nut. This is the amount of play that the snap-on has. This is the amount of play of the Vim. Just a little bit. I'll get the label there so you maybe can see it. That's the play on that nut. Here is the CTA. It's just a hair more. And then here's the Koken. That's pretty good. That might be the best out of all of them. Yeah, the Koken's a little tighter than the snap-on. And then the Vim. You can see there's a little mark there on that. Maybe you can see just the wiggle there. CTA is just a little bit more. However, this set's a little over $100. So, you know, you're not getting as tight a tolerance. Apparently, it's got a full lifetime warranty, assuming nothing weird happens or you do anything strange. But it is a little wonky when you read the details. So, I don't know. I haven't tried it yet. But I do like these, and I was thinking about getting a couple more. I especially wanted the 12 and the 14, and then I thought a 15 would be nice. And then suddenly I'm up at the price of a set of them for just a couple. Koken does make a set. You can get, I think it's 5 for about the same price, or maybe it's 4 for about the same price, or for a little less, for around $90, you can get a set of 5 Vims. But I just went ahead and thought I'd try this out to see. It's a handy tool, opens up kind of a new dimension, and you don't use them that often or in super high torque environments or impacts. They're kind of a special purpose, or as I mentioned, what I like is in certain cases, especially where you really can't see as well, or you've got a long threaded rod. These just they just seem to be, really handy. It just fits nicely in the hand. And of course, if you're doing just traditional socket use, sometimes it's a little more easy to control, simpler than running extensions. But your choice. Anyway, there it is. The CTA extra deep socket set. This one's in metric. There's an SAE. And with that, dock out.